And so with that, I'll turn the class over to Stephen Weinstein, who's going to lead you through the William Steinway Diary and the relationship of that diary as a primary source to our understanding of the draft riots. Professor Weinstein.
Thank you, Dr. Lieberman. And I would like to second your statement about the students. It's been very exciting for me. And as usual, I learned quite a bit this semester. There's always room for learning. And once again, it was reinforced that if you read a document really closely, you'll find things you had not originally seen. So it's very key to take your time and read a document closely. So today we're going to look at William Steinway's diary. This diary was written by the lead owner, you might say, of the Steinway Piano Factory. And it extends for how many years? At least 30, 35 years, I think. Many years.
I think it starts in the 1860s and he dies, I think, in 1897. So I think it's 30, let's just say 30 years.
So consider for a moment, that's quite an achievement to keep a diary for 30 years. Most of us do it for a few months at most, and that's the end. And he writes about his life and his family and the factory. And since some events so important, like the Civil War draft riots, occurred when he was writing the diary, he doesn't fail to write about it from his point of view. So Oleg, could you share the screen and show the diary page? We have a copy of the diary in our archives, but this diary came from the Smithsonian, which also received a copy, and it's available online. All you have to type is William Steinway Diary, and it comes up, and it's very easy to use. So it's the old story, 10 points if anybody can read any of this.
Hold on, I cannot move.
So you want us to start with July 1st or July?
July 1st is good, or any of the dates, but July 1st is there. It says Wednesday, that much I can read.
All right, I'll say at home in the evening. Whew, scratches?
Yes.
Has my nicely.
Well, I admit I read the transcript, so I know.
Healing up nicely, healing up nicely.
Healing up. So
healing up, scratches, healing up nicely. How'd I do?
Perfect.
Ah, and then there's somebody's name, Mrs. something Weber.
No, it's a medicinal cure of the 1860s.
What's it? What is it? It's what?
Zinc water.
Oh, zinc water. Right. Use the zinc water.
Yeah, I must admit I've never tried that.
All right. Ivan, you want to give it a shot? July 2nd?
Sure. It's really hard though.
Well, you know the day of the week.
It says Thursday, yeah. Trying.
I think
trying songs
What's
with
Mr. Trying what?
Songs?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
With Mr. Peter, or not sure, in his room.
Go ahead.
I'm home in evening Friday.
And the next day, July 3rd is Friday, right?
And then it says again, trying songs. I don't know. Is it songs?
Yeah, but you're on the right path, but you wouldn't try a song, you would sing a song.
Oh, it's singing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's singing, not trying?
Yeah, nobody tries songs, they sing songs.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so now we know what his S's look like.
Singing songs with Mr. Pattison in the alcove? No, I'm not sure what that says.
Store?
Yeah, I think that's store.
Yeah, store.
When he says the store, he means Steinway Hall.
Oh, I see.
There was no Steinway Hall then. What does he mean? He means the factory or the showroom downtown?
They probably have a showroom, yeah.
Yeah, this it's so good. It's so good.
This-
Exactly right. The store was the showroom downtown. In this time period, it would be on 14th Street.
Walker Street.
Oh, it was still on Walker Street.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you.
I once went to visit the address to see what was there now, and it's a parking lot.
88 Walker.
Yeah.
That's great. Ivan, go ahead.
It says father and someone's name, right?
Charles. That's
Charles. Go to. I'm not sure. Go to something in Yonkers.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Do you know, Stephen?
I don't remember. No.
Go to somebody's house at Yonkers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go to something with that's a W or an
M.
M. Go to, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Then it says Mr. Reese.
It's the same one he was singing with on July 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's Mr. Petrie.
If you look up on July 2nd, he was singing with Petrie. So he's with Petrie again, and where do they go?
I go home and remain with mother.
But where does he? It's Mr. Petrie to Rhinebeck?
I believe so. Rhinebeck, upstate.
He's right near me. I'm 20 minutes from Rhinebeck. He goes home and we remain.
He goes home and remains with his mother. And the next day is on a Sunday.
July 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian, you want to give it a try? Thank you, Ivan.
No problem.
I can't read that.
You can't? Okay. Narissa?
Sure, Professor. I think it says, I stay at home all day.
July 4th.
Yeah.
Fair day. Go ahead.
Fair day, yeah.
Yeah.
I stay at home all day with mother.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says reverse songs in the afternoon.
Rehearse, yeah.
Yeah, reverse songs in the afternoon. In the eve, read. I can't make that out.
Ola, can you move it up a little?
Second.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, in the eve, read. I'm not sure what that is.
Stephen, you know?
I've forgotten already. Mother somebody.
So he's reading a book, you mean?
Probably, yeah.
Mother of somebody. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think the students, you did great, actually.
Yeah, you did. You did.
This is, this is awfully challenging.
Let me just
All I
say
can-
it, as a historian who wrote the book on Steinway, I obviously spent a lot of time with this diary. After you spend a few hours with it, you do start to get his handwriting and you go through it much quicker. I mean, I haven't read this in a while, so I'm like as rusty as everybody. But I can remember when I was working on the book, going through this diary, after a while, it's like anything else, you get used to the handwriting. So it goes faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ola, could you please go back to the transcription?
Hold on. I need to make it smaller. Okay. It's good?
Yes. Oh, it was trying songs rather than singing. So I assumed incorrectly.
Good.
So you notice on July 3rd, father and his brother go to Henry at Yonkers, and Mr. Petrie goes to Rhinebeck. So they spend a lot of time singing songs. This is a major form of entertainment for them. And they sing in German. because that's what they were reading. Wilhelm Meister's Lehrjahre. Sounds like a textbook.
Yeah.
But on July 4th, there's no mention of Independence Day. I'm a little surprised by that.
That's interesting. That's it.
And no mention of the Battle at Gettysburg either. That's also a little surprising.
He's going to get to it down
Yeah.
on July 7th.
Oleg, please scroll down to July 7th. So you see here, he does have war news. Vicksburg, Mississippi had been taken by the Union troops. This was an important battle. I believe General Grant took Vicksburg on this date, and in combination with the results at Gettysburg, pretty much dealt a death blow to the Confederate hopes. Okay, but yet the draft registration, the lottery has not begun yet. But you notice on the 10th, he goes to Hoboken, so they get around. We had to, he had to take a ferry to get to Hoboken. And what is roll 10 pins? Anyone have an idea?
What sport do you play that has pins in it?
Bowling.
Yeah, you go.
Yes. Yeah, he went bowling in Hoboken.
He went bowling.
Yes.
How long ago was this, and how long ago was bowling invented?
Well, it's 1863, remember?
And they had bowling back then?
They didn't call
Well,
it
yeah,
bowling,
why not?
but it wasn't called bowling. It's
It
called
says
10
roll
pins.
10 pins is what it's called.
What's that?
It says roll 10 pins.
Yeah, so we're using the term bowling, but to him it's called 10 pins. And to answer your question, you can obviously Google it, but bowling, the kind of game where you roll a ball and you knock down something, depending on the culture as you move around the world, has been developed all over the world. So it has a lot of origins.
I would believe it goes back to ancient
Wait,
times.
it says serenade his wife. Does he mean serenade my wife?
No, I think he means Hempy's wife.
Who's
Oh,
wife?
why is he serenading
his
someone
wife.
else's wife?
Well, it wasn't just him. I think
Oh.
he was in the Hempy singing to his wife.
Oh, okay. I thought he like went over to sing to someone else's wife, and I was like, that's strange.
No, as Dr. Lieberman can attest to, he was deeply in love with his wife, but it wasn't exactly returned.
Oh,
His wife has a lot of love affairs, which come out in the diary. Actually, I write about it in my book. But she, because he's so busy with his business and she's much younger than him, she starts to have love affairs. And the way he discovers it is actually through the diary, because he kept track of her menstrual cycle in the diary with a code.
what?
Yeah, he has a code he develops, and he with dots and dashes, and he's following her menstrual cycle, and she gets pregnant, and he writes in the diary, "This is impossible," and he confronts her, and she confesses that she's been having a love affair, and he's totally he's just totally destroyed. I mean, he collapses, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, let's go back to the Civil War.
Yeah, Oleg, please go to the next page and we can see the dots and dashes.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, they're there.
Professor.
Oleg, can you see on July 11th, it says the draft commences in the 22nd Ward. This is the Upper West Side. So Charles and I go to Hoboken to take a bath. It's a long way to take a bath, but this is more like a mineral bath. The first this summer. This is my wife at Niagara Falls. She gets her. Oleg, could you click on the red dots and dashes? And you see it's Morse code for courses, meaning her menstrual cycle.
Damn.
This is the example of what he's been doing.
Christian, did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to let you know that bowling was invented and 12.99.
12 what?
12.99.
There you go,
A
Carmela.
long time ago.
That's a
Now,
long
now
time ago.
you see this code that this dots and dashes. When I first started reading the diary, I didn't know, I had no idea what he was doing. And then as I was going through the original diary, I turned the page and I found the translation of how I found his secret translation of his code. And I was the one, I mean, this is done by the Smithsonian, but I originally was the one who translated that code into, I thought it was curses, but it's courses, and then realized what he was up to. And I never forgot that moment when I turned the page and I found, what the dots and the dashes meant. And I translated it, and then I came upon the moment when he confronts his wife. So it was a big moment for me as a researcher to come up with this in his diary.
Yeah, that's a eureka moment.
That's
I mean,
That's insane to me that like he's keeping track of it though. Like that's wild. If I had a husband who was keeping track of my courses, I would be like, that's none of your business. Like that's crazy. That's insane to me.
well, it raises the question of trust.
Yeah, there isn't any, is there?
No,
I
no.
mean, I
and
guess
he-
there shouldn't be because she did get pregnant. So
Well, with most love affairs, the husband's the last one to know. And I'm sure people were saying things to him. And so he tried, then I think what he was doing was trying to figure out if it were true or not.
oh, like he did this to prove if it was true or not.
I think so. I mean, look, Carmela, the history of love affairs and the history
Yeah,
of this kind of history is very hard to write.
just
So
assume, yeah.
People don't write this down. The only reason I could get details on this is that I went to the court records on their divorce proceedings and I read testimony by their servants who were observing her having her love affairs. So I got tremendous detail on this because I could get at primary sources in the court records when they were divorcing of testimony. So, but you usually don't get this kind of history. It's as you'd understand, it's very hidden history.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you had to like go in and really decipher all of this.
Yeah, decipher and spend a lot of time figuring out what other primary sources could you get to write about it. I mean, you can't just make things up. You have to go and get documents. And I was fortunate that there were court records and testimony that I could get to get detail about Regina and her many lovers. So
But that's not always the case with this kind of stuff, is there?
it's rarely the case. It's
Yeah.
always, no one writes down. No one writes this down. Oh, I had a love affair with so-and-so. No one writes it down. They're busy.
No, you
hiding.
don't want evidence of that.
What?
You don't want evidence of, nobody wants evidence of their love affair. Why would you write that down?
That's right. That's why it's very hard for historians to write this kind of history. But I was very fortunate in that I could get primary sources.
Well, listen, nowadays, us younger people have this thing called a Finsta. And it's like a private Instagram that only like a few of your friends can follow. And we have all of our secrets on there. So if I turn into a very important person when I'm older and then I die and people want to know about my love affairs, they're all in my Finsta. They're recorded somewhere.
A modern day William Steinway. All right, Stephen, go on. Bring us back to the Civil War.
Okay, but first, just to let you know about July 12th, again, he went to the Lion Brewery, which was like a beer garden on the Upper East Side. So again, he's entertaining himself, and they have the Liederkranz. This is a German word, just means singing society. So singing is an important part of his cultural life. But then the draft starts. The 13th is the first day of the rebellion. And
Can we go back to the primary source, Stephen, to read about July 13th?
yeah, I mean, let's click on the word resistance.
Okay, sorry.
Can everyone read that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the violence began on Monday and it pretty well extended the entire week through Friday or up till Friday. Okay, Oleg, could you close that? And let's go back to the transcript. Okay. Row of buildings on 3rd Avenue burning down. Now, remember his factory is on Park Avenue and 53rd Street. Okay. This is 3rd Avenue, which is not too far away. Also on Lexington Avenue. And at 5 p.m., they appear before our factory.
Can we go back to the hard to read? I love the,
The originals. Okay,
Yeah.
Oleg, roll over, please. So some researcher already put a blue pencil mark on the important date.
that was Henry Steinway. I know exactly who did it. Tiffany,
Okay.
Tiffany, can you read July 13th?
I doubt it.
Can
Larger.
yeah,
Make
can
it-
it be
Make it larger, Oleg.
I don't know if I can. Oh,
Sure you can. I have faith in you. Can you read it, Tiffany? Monday, terrible.
Monday terrible? What?
Too large, Oleg.
too large?
Yes, you can't, I think it's okay. Can you read that? Terrible excitement?
Terrible excitement throughout the
The city?
city. What's the
Move it
next
over,
word?
Oleg.
Hmm?
Throughout the city. I think that word is resistance. What do you think?
Yes, resistance.
Resistance for the draft.
To the draft, right?
The draft, and then it says what? That's an R, but I can't make out the next letters.
Stephen, you know what that word is?
Yeah,
Something-
row of,
Row of buildings on 3rd Avenue. Forming,
Burning.
burning down. Also on Lexington Ave.
Avenue, right?
Um,
Various.
various other buildings fired by the, I can't see the next word.
Yeah. Oh, can you move it over just a touch? I think that word is mob.
yeah,
Fired by the mob
Yeah.
about 5 p.m.
About 5 p.m.
They appear before our factory.
Wait a minute, Oleg, what'd you just do? Move it over. I can't see. Can you get the whole thing?
Charles speaks to them, and with the aid of
Reverend.
Reverend Father
Mhm.
Mahone,
Mahan.
they
Name what?
draw off towards Yorkville.
Where late in the evening.
Where what?
Late in the
Where
evening.
late in the eve, many buildings are fired.
Oh, in your own words, Tiffany, what'd you just read? What just happened?
Some type of mob set a bunch of buildings on fire.
And then what happens after that? What happens at 5 p.m.?
they appear before a factory.
Yeah, and Charles Steinway, his brother, speaks to them. And the head of the church, probably the local church, somehow talks to the mob and gets them to leave, right?
Yes. Oleg, can you see where it says related images on the right side of the screen? And the image in the middle on the top row, could you go to the next image? It's a little
Yeah.
below, it has the word next.
Hold on.
Yes, where there's type on the bottom, it says
Ah, yeah. Yes.
next. So this is the factory. And as you can see, it's a very substantial building. Okay. If it says
So-
4th Avenue, but that's Park Avenue today, between 52nd and 53rd Street. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-story building. And I believe it takes up nearly the entire block.
And this was the largest at that time, this was the largest factory building in New York City. And it was large for one reason, because pianos are very large and you need a lot of room to move them around. And you see this, what looks like a tree in the middle of you see this line in the middle of the photo, Stephen?
Yes,
You know what that is?
there's something written on it.
Yeah,
I'd have to turn it sideways.
it's in German, so you won't know, it's written
Oh.
in German. And if you turn it sideways and get a translation, you'll find that what he wrote was, so we would know many years later, right, over a century later, that is a telegraph post. That there was a telegraph post in his way when he took the photo. And he wants you to know that it's not a crack in the photo. He didn't make any mistakes, but this was where he had to stand to get this photo of the building. I just love that he wrote down just so you and I and the whole class would know that was a telegraph post.
This is typical Germanic behavior, right?
It's typical for that family. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
That family.
So
All right.
this is one big factory.
Let's go back to the English because it's so hard to read that writing. Let's go back to the translation.
So any ideas, why did Charles get the aid of a reverend, of a Catholic priest to help him? Why
Well,
didn't he ask a Protestant minister?
Because they would have listened to him.
Okay, but why?
Because he was a Protestant and not not German.
and the mob, and do you remember from the last class, the mob is mostly who's the mob resenting the fact that blacks will come north and take their jobs? Do you remember that one?
No, I can't.
Brian, do you remember?
No, I don't.
What group?
Is it Catholic Irish?
Yes.
Yes. So this is an Irish Catholic mob. So he gets the leadership of the Catholic Church, the Reverend Mahan, to help him get these mobsters away from his factory.
And it works.
Yeah, they go away.
But let's see why it works. If you scroll down a bit, Oleg.
He goes to bed, right?
Yeah, he goes to bed, but what did he give the mob leaders when?
Brian, you want to read this?
No, I'm good. I can't read that.
Maybe we just go to the transcript. for this.
Joseph, what about Joseph? You want to give it a try?
It has to be larger.
Pedro, you there?
Yeah, now it's.
Yeah,
now
now
it's-
I'm here.
Yeah, you want to give this a try? Reading this, it's you see in the middle it says the word.
Yeah.
That's too big.
So I just recently joined in because I was having problems joining in earlier. So
All right.
I'm a little lost on what's happening here.
All right, to catch you up, we're reading William Steinway's diary. The draft riots have come to the factory door, and he's writing about how they got rid of the mob. The mob was going to burn, obviously, the mob was threatening to burn down a factory, which is mostly wood. This is my interpretation. And what we're reading in this diary is how he got rid of the draft riot mob from burning down his factory. How'd I do, Stephen?
Perfect.
Okay, so now, Pedro, we'd like you to read from William's diary. Oleg, it's very hard because you're cutting off. If you could move it over, because it's on the right, it's being cut off. Can you move it over a bit? Oleg, you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, Pedro, can you read this? Is it
No, I'll be honest with you, I can't read this because I'm not really good at reading script.
okay?
To be in line.
So, Louis, are you there? Give it one more try.
Yeah.
Can you read this?
Let's see. Which part was it?
Well, we're about in the middle of the page. You see the word Yorkville?
Yorkville. Oh yeah. I think yeah.
Go ahead, start reading from there.
York. Wait, is it Yorkville where?
Yeah,
Yorkville where? Intern?
late in the evening.
Huh?
The word is late in the eve.
Oh. Late in the. Wow. I really can't read that.
All right, Steve, we better go to the
Let's go to the transcript because it could be
My
made
handwriting's too
larger, but
fancy.
It's not happening.
Yeah, well, thanks for trying. But what happens as a historian is that after a few days, you do get used to it and you can read it. But it's very hard to read it right now. So let's go to the English. I mean, the English, this is all in English. Let's go to the
They're printed. Okay. Okay, so everyone can see that Father Charles and I, the three of them stayed in the factory until 1 o'clock in the morning, and then they went to sleep. And it rained all night, which helps disperse the mob anyhow. But what
Brian,
happened?
Brian, can you read this now?
Yeah. I got you. Wait, starting where?
During,
With what point?
During
Father,
yeah,
or Father Charles from where?
during his stay with the mob.
All right. During his stay with the mob, Charles gave the ringleaders $30 to $40 in money and won a check for $30. It was a terrible scene, and we were, of course, all much exercised at the prospect of having the factory destroyed.
so what, Stephen, what just went on?
He paid off the ringleaders.
Yeah, basically.
He co-opted the mob. Capitalism at its best.
Brian, what's your reaction to that?
It's pretty smart. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty smart. You know, that's capitalism.
Stephen Weinstein, I got to tell you, I mean, I've read this many times, but it's an amazing moment. Here is the draft riots, right? One of the worst tragedies in New York City history. And he's writing him a check?
Yeah, a check. Who has a checkbook? What can they do with the check?
I mean, $30 was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, $30. Yes, $30. I would say, I'm going to guess.
$30 to $40 was a
I
lot.
bet it's a good it's a good salary for a month.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
think about this. This mob is there. It's the draft riots. It's the worst riot in New York City's history. They're burning down. They're destroying the city. He's writing them a check. Whoa.
He wants to get the spelling of the name right.
And the mob leader says, "Yeah, write me a check." I mean, give me a break. What the heck is that all about?
Yeah, it takes away some of the sanctity of the rebellion.
Money always works. Money always works.
Yeah, it's remarkable he could buy them off like really so cheaply.
It's smart actually, you know. He
Smart.
saved business, come on.
Yeah, but if
Sorry
you
for
were
it.
a member of the mob, would you have liked this? No way. You would have
I would
said,
take $50.
sold me out.
What's that?
If
I would
if
take
I were a
50.
member, sorry, if I were a member of the mob, I would be furious with my ringleaders for selling me out.
Well, maybe the ringleaders divided the money up of the
Oh,
30.
I don't think so. It doesn't
No
say
way.
anything about
I
that.
would
No
take the money.
way.
I would take
Usually,
the money for the
mob
second.
leaders is smarter people than everybody else. People who do
Yeah.
it revolutions, they're not like do
Well,
it
they're
revolutions. They
duplicitous.
send people. So they got money and they say, okay.
Ivan, what's your reaction to this?
Me, they're hypocrites.
Oh, Ivan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it makes sense, you know. When you deal with rebellions and mobs, they're gonna find ways to pay each other off. That's how it always is.
I just think I mean, you know, I've obviously dealt with this issue for a long time and I just have this reaction to it all the time. Like, what?
Check.
Oh my gosh.
And
All
now
right.
let's go to January 6th. And if Congress had said to the leaders, the Proud Boys, okay, here's $1,000. Now go away. I don't think it would have worked.
Oh, you don't think it would have worked? Well,
No,
it depends.
no.
I mean, mobs have various leaders. I mean, it's not just one leader.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen, you want to go back to the diary or you want to go to my writing and how I use this?
Let's go to your diary because we have 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Let's go to my, okay, so let's go to my book as a secondary source and look at how I use the primary source in writing about this. Oleg, can you now go to 58A?
Mhm. 1 second. Screen 58.
This was ridiculous.
What's that?
I said this was ridiculous.
What's the ridiculous part, Kristen?
The whole thing.
What, I want you to give me a sentence about, instead of the word ridiculous, give me a sentence.
How they paid the mob only $30 for them to go away.
Okay, that's your example. And tell me what you mean by the word only.
They gave them $30 and they were gratified with that.
Okay, but I think as Ivan was saying and Stephen Weinstein was saying that $30 might have been a lot of money in that time period. If you look at how much rent was and how much it was to buy a quart of milk. I mean, it looks like not much money from your point of view here in 2021. But if you go back to 1863 and compare it to the daily wage.
I understand that.
What's that?
I understand that.
Okay, so then what's your point?
No, it's just funny how it all happened.
Yes, that's, I mean, I have to say, I still get enjoyment out of it, sort of visualizing what happened. Okay,
Yeah, because mob leaders are not supposed to be bought off so easily.
Yeah.
Mob leaders actually smart people again.
Okay, Oleg, but please.
Yeah,
They're there
it's
for a purpose. They're there to threaten the factory to get what they want, whatever that is. $30 shouldn't dissuade them.
Let's go to page 36. You're on page 34 and 35. Go to page 36. And go ahead. All right, stop. And this, whoa, this paragraph, late in the afternoon. Can you make that
On the
bigger?
left page.
Late in the afternoon. Can you make that bigger?
on.
Yeah, good. Late in the afternoon, make it bigger.
More?
I don't know, Stephen, do you think it's?
This
what
is
happened?
good.
Oh.
This
All
is
right,
very good.
late in the afternoon. Great. Leave it right there. Okay. Leave it right there. All right, Narissa, are you with us? I know she had to go somewhere. Sarkar, are you there?
On stage.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, move it up a little bit, Oleg, so Sakar can read it late in the afternoon. Move it up a little bit. Okay, start reading right there, Sakar, late in the afternoon.
Late in the afternoon, the mob reached the Steinway Factory gate. William anxiously noted. Charles speaks to them, and with the aid of Reverend Father Mahon and Mr. O'Connor, they
Yeah.
drove up towards Yorkville, where late in the evening, many buildings were fired. Father Charles stayed in the factory office till 1 a.m., then go to bed. During his meeting with the mob, Charles gave the ringleaders $20 to $40 cash and won a check for $30. About a month's wage for most laborers in 1860. The payoff were to prevent the destruction of the factory. As it turned out, the thunderstorm ended the first day of writing, keeping every one of the streets that night.
That's good. Stop there. So Stephen Weinstein, how did I do?
Well, earlier you would ask the question, where did you get it right and where did you get it wrong? So everything is the same that I can remember in the diary except the amount of cash. Because I thought unless we misread the figure, that Charles gave the ringleaders $30 to $40 cash, and you wrote 20. How'd that happen?
I think I got it wrong.
Okay, so this happens.
I think I got it wrong. I mean, we just read the entry, and then I write, gave the rings 20 to 40 in cash and won a check for 30. Can we go back to the diary, Oleg? Is that too difficult?
Let me stop sharing. It's not difficult, but
Time consuming.
yeah.
Right. Okay, leave it in English.
Yeah, there.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Weinstein.
Well, at least the transcript says $30 to $40, but we'd have to look at the original. Maybe the transcript is wrong after all.
Okay, let's go to the original, Oleg. It's called Prove the Professor Wrong.
No, now you see, I think you're right and the transcript is wrong.
Woo! Make it
No,
bigger.
because
Make it bigger.
compare the 2 or whatever that number is
Make
with
it
the
bigger.
30. It doesn't, although maybe it's a toughie.
Is that a 3, 30 to 40, or 20 to 40? Ivan, what do you say?
That says, I think, not sure, honestly.
I think it's 30 to 40.
I think
It
it's
looks like the 3. It looks like a 3, but we would have to see how they write their 2s to really.
I love it. Well, I in my book I write 20, don't I?
Yes.
Yes.
But here it could be 20 or 30, but what you see is the problem I had. And I think I saw it as a 2. And Ivan, you're totally right. We'd have to go back.
No, that's a 3.
That's a 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened is his ink, he didn't have a ballpoint pen. He had a fountain pen. And I think there was a splotch there. So he may have meant a 2.
That's a 2.
That's a 2.
It's not exactly the same as.
I think that's a 2 because it says 20 to 40, and then he wrote someone else a check for 30, so he might have met that person in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Let's get back to what Ivan's saying. We do see an example of what a 3 looks like.
Yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
So that is not a 3. We see what right there. You see what a 3 looks like.
I mean, it could be a quick. It looks like it's a quick 3. Like he was writing. We would have to see somewhere where he writes a 2.
Right.
Or in a date or something.
Right.
Well, let's go to July 12th.
Oh yeah, go to July 12th. Great idea. Oleg,
Yeah.
That's the next
go to
day.
July 12th. Let's see how he writes a 2. There it is. There's a lot of 2s. Look, the 22nd Ward, July 12th.
Yeah, then it's a 3 because that 2 is definitely different.
It's a 3.
Sorry.
It's a 3. And Lieberman is wrong or right? What did I say?
You said 2.
Oh, no. I got
Nobody's gonna, it's not the end of the world.
All right. I'll recover. I'll recover.
The problems that we face, there are a lot of, uncertainties.
So is there a summary statement you can make about the use of primary sources in writing history? Carmela, am I waking you up?
No, I'm awake, but what did you ask just now?
Let me see. Daisy, are you there? Pedro, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, give me a summary statement after you have sat through this class of looking at the diary and looking at Lieberman's words. What is in your heart, in your soul, in your intellectual soul about the use of primary sources to write history?
Excuse me, I'm going over my tongue, but
What?
primary sources.
How many sources? I'm looking at this one source, William Steinway's diary.
Are you going to explain what I think about it?
Yeah, what do you think about the use of a primary source to write history? Imagine your Lieberman.
Because it's pretty important to have a primary source, because it basically goes word for word what happened during the events, instead of like a secondary source person who heard it from another person or got it from the news. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I'm with you. Stephen Weinstein, you want to respond?
Well, I
to
would
that?
also add that primary sources are subject to multiple interpretations. And we see that, is it $20? Is it $30? What was the significance of the money? Different people are going to interpret giving the money differently. What was the effect? So I think that's the key thing to remember. When you're analyzing a primary source, you come to your conclusion, but that might not be the only conclusion, and you need to understand possible alternatives to your ideas.
And I would add, it's very difficult when you're faced with a primary source, first to do the reading and then to run it down in your mind in terms of what does it all mean, which is what I've been pushing everybody. Oh, can we go back just to the whole class, the whole grid?
Mhm.
And so basically what I've been pushing you on is the most difficult part of doing history, which is to get yourself inside of that primary source and say to yourself, well, why did this happen? I mean, the difficult part, sure, is translating it from the handwriting to understand it. But then you move to the really difficult stuff, which is what Stephen Weinstein's talking about, which is what is your interpretation? And that is really difficult. Even though I made a mistake and I wrote it was a 2 and it was a 3, I think I still captured in my book the essence of what was going on, that he paid them off and he used the Catholic Church and money to get rid of the mob. So I thought what a nice thing would do in the last minute of the class is for everybody to turn on their video and to give a wave goodbye, so that we have this whole screen of everybody waving. So would everybody turn on their video? Everybody turn it on. Try not to cry. All right.
Beautiful people.
We go-
This is how the class should have gone.
Look at this. Look at
We
this.
should have had the
look at
cameras
this.
on the whole time.
Okay.
Well,
Everybody, let's give a wave goodbye. I really just delighted in teaching with you and learning with you. You really are going to be a favorite class of mine forever. All right. Take care.